this evening on the Black Congregation. We just finished a live stream on the Philip Scott Show. That is our entertainment news show. That's not our political show. Our political, shows are on the news channels. So it's letting you people know. Now this channel, as it may be your first time coming, the Black Congregation is about more so along the lines of news, but things that affects black people here in America. And that's what we're going to talk about here tonight with the bill out of Florida. So I know a lot of you have heard about this bill called the Don't Say Gay bill. I'm pretty sure many of you have heard about that by now. We're going to talk about what the bill's actual name is, and we're going to go through the highlights of that particular bill. And we want to just ask some legitimate questions to maybe a lot of parents in the audience, because we've been hearing a lot of this stuff with Disney going on as of recent. They said that they're going to be introducing up to 50% of their new characters will be LGBTQ. Now, we talking about to children. We're not talking about to adults. We're talking about to children. Disney had a decent product for the most part. I know Walt Disney had his white supremacy about him, but I mean, is that surprising? And you look at all the old cartoons they had. Some of them today, they had to put warnings on them because they were just straight up minstrel type of shows, blackface, all kind of things, even in the cartoons back in the day. So aside from all of that, Disney is on this. So we definitely got to talk about all these issues, and Disney's, big hub is definitely out of Florida. So shout out to everybody who's here tonight. Make sure I'm just checking out the people that's here. As you come in, make sure you click the like button. We greatly would appreciate you doing that. I know about maybe almost half of you have done that, but I appreciate if you can click that like button. So without further ado, let's not take up too much of your time. I know your time is precious. And so let me get to the bill itself. All right. So this is the bill itself, the summary of the bill. I actually went through the whole bill, and this summary is actually, pretty decent in itself. So let me pull it up on my other screen here just so I can kind of follow along with the audience. Okay, so as you can see, the bill itself is not called Don't Say Gay. First and foremost, it's not called Don't Say Gay. It is called, as you can see, the Parental Rights and Education Bill. So where does this Don't Say Gay come from? That is a media propaganda. It is media propaganda, and you really thought, and most people thought, that it meant don't say gay in the bill. Nothing about that says that, okay? So that's media propaganda number one. That's why we always go through these things. Now, as you can see here, it says the bill reinforces a parent's fundamental right to make decisions regarding the care and upbringing of his or her child in the public school setting. So far, I see nothing wrong with that. They say the bill requires each district school board to adopt procedures for notifying a student's parent if there is a change in services or monitoring related to the student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being. Nothing's wrong with that. All procedures adopted under the bill, they say, must require school district personnel to encourage a student to discuss issues related to his or her well-being with his or her parent. That's right. They're supposed to be doing that. All right, continuing. The bill prohibits a school district from maintaining procedures that require school district personnel to withhold from a parent or encourage a student to withhold information related to a student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being. School district procedures may authorize school district personnel to withhold information only for a reasonable belief that disclosure would subject the student to abuse, abandonment, or neglect. So far in this bill, it's basically saying they can't do whatever they want to do to your child without you knowing about it. Now, why is that important? That's important because, this thing we've been dealing with for the past 2 years, and this thing they have been pushing on us, Okay, instead of letting people make their own decisions for themselves or for their children or whatever else, they was trying to secretly, you heard in certain areas, make kids, take that and bribing them with pizza and, or don't tell your parents. And so they're saying, look, that's not going to be tolerated. You not telling your parents what's going on. Okay. All right, cool. Now, the next step. The bill prohibits classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in the kindergarten through third grade, or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students. Now, parents that's in this chat, do you have a problem with that? Give me a 1 for yes and a 2 for no. Do you have a problem with the bill saying you cannot discuss that, sexual orientation, gender identity in kindergarten through third grade? Let me tell you something about that. I support that 2,000%. Because when I was in kindergarten, I wasn't thinking about no gender identity. I surely wasn't thinking about no orientation of anything. As a kindergartner, as a first grader, second grader, third grader, fourth grader, fifth grader, I think maybe when I got in middle school, I may start paying attention to girls a little bit. High school, definitely more. But in elementary, I didn't even think about girls like that too much. I was just playing with my friends, playing my Nintendo, just doing what little boys would do back in that time period. Okay, so you said not at all. Okay, most people saying not at all. All right. Now continuing, it says at the beginning of each school year, a school district must notify parents of all healthcare services offered at their student school and provide parents the opportunity to individually consent to or decline each service. Additionally, schools may not administer a well-being questionnaire or health screening from a student in kindergarten through grade 3 without first receiving consent from the student's parent. Okay, so far, nothing is wrong with this bill at all. Not a freaking thing. What are they screaming about? Boy, I told y'all that media propaganda, the media is dirty. It is freaking dirty, man. How they lie to you. It is criminal how they lie to you. And we were reading the summary of the bill right here. Next one. The bill requires each school district, let me see, hold on. Okay. To adopt procedures for a parent to notify the principal of concerns regarding the provisions in the bill and the process for resolving concerns within 7 days of the complaint. It said the bill specifies that if the complaint is not received by the school district after an additional 30 days, a parent may, one here, request the Commissioner of Education appoint a special magistrate who meets qualifications established in the bill. It said the special magistrate must recommend. Must recommend a resolution to the State Board of Education within 30 days. The SBE must approve or reject the recommendation between 7 and 30 days after the recommendation. The school district must pay the cost of the special magistrate. So they're not even charging parents for that. It said bringing action against the school district to obtain it's so small. Declaratory judgment that the school district procedure or practice violates the provision in the bill and seek injunctive relief. It said court may award damages and must award reasonable attorney fees and court costs to a parent who receives a declaratory or injunctive relief. So basically, parents can sue the schools if they're trying to do something foul, if they're trying to give things to their kids they may not agree with, talk, what they should do about their mental, emotional, and physical health behind their back and not know. Parents can actually sue the school district for that according to this bill. And say the bill requires all school district support services, it said training to adhere to guidelines, standards, and frameworks established by the Department of Education. They say by June 30, 2023, the DOE must review and update as necessary all relevant guidelines, standards, and frameworks for the compliance of the bill. It said these provisions were approved by the governor and take effect July 1, 2022. So that's what all the media propaganda is talking about, but they're also referring to the one part of the bill that says that The bill prohibits instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through grade 3 in a manner that's not age appropriate or, developmentally appropriate for students. Okay? So, now that you know the bill has nothing to do with saying don't say gay. It has nothing to do with that. The white corporate media lied once again to you. I mean, how do you feel about that? Just as a people, even if you don't have children, how do you feel about the media lying to you like that? They keep repeating it every day. See the don't say gay bill, the don't say gay. Like, you really think that's what it's called by these people repeating it constantly? That is propaganda 101. They're always trying to talk about other countries and their propaganda. The North Koreans and all the Chinese and all the Russians and all these different other countries talking about their propaganda. They're propagandizing, and listen, they're lying. They're direct lying to us. And most parents in America would not have a problem with that bill, including me. I have no problem with that bill. If I wrote the bill, it would be more stricter than that if I wrote it, because they don't need to be discussing that in school. You go there to get your education, not in anything like that. So you mean fourth graders? Because you can start talking to fourth graders about that? No elementary school children at all need to even be having any kind of discussions like that. Adults need to do what adults do in their own spare time. Leave children out of it. As a parent, I'm getting sick and tired of seeing this stuff being pushed on our children. And we as, definitely black people, but it could be anybody that could be watching, not just black people gonna watch. As parents, it's our job to protect our children of that, because these people, what they're doing, they're coming for our children. That's exactly what they want to do. So Florida say, you know what? Let's put a stop to this. And rightfully so. Disney, and go back to them again. You have Marvel, you have all these different things that you have. People don't listen. There's shows you can create for that, for adults, and if they want to watch that, no problem. I have no problem creating programming that's for adults and diverse in all kind of ways. Don't have an issue with that. But this is the thing. And this comes from the white supremacists on the Democrat side, the liberal. They say, well, you know what? Forget you as a parent. You shouldn't have no control of your children. You shouldn't have no say-so whatsoever. We're just going to, we know we can't get you on that agenda, so let's go ahead on and go to your children and do whatever we want to do to them. That's a problem for me. That's a major, major problem for me as a parent. But see, it's a problem, but it's not a problem. And the reason why I say it's not a problem, because my child has never seen a day of public school because two reasons. One, I can't deal with their racism. Can't deal with it. Number two is things like this. Now, let me check the comment section down here. Now here they go already in the comment section. Here they go. The agenda they're pushing, children shouldn't be bringing up in the mix. Period. No, leave children out of it. And those of you who coming in, make sure you leave a love offering. Yes, let kids be kids. You said you're not alone. Or you say, bro, a majority of us have a problem with it. Yeah, homeschooling your kids is the best thing to do. If you really want to protect your children, homeschool them. When you bring them to public school, you're putting them in a whatever situation. Now, at least I can say in Florida, you don't have to worry about your kids, at least with some of that. But this is what has been happening. Parents not liking it. And parents need to stand up and say, no. You're 18 and over, I got nothing to say. But when it comes to children, no. Children need to be children. Children need to develop in the time that children develop. We don't need all these things coming at. Like, my thing is, it goes back to the Ketanji Brown Jackson thing. If you study like the predators that's trying to come after children, a lot of them trying to worm their way to children, and we have to make sure that we take a stand as parents and say no. Why? My thing is, it's grooming. This is grooming of children they're trying to do. Leave children the hell alone. This is why I talk about when I'm in other places. I ain't talking about just this country. Even when I went to Turkey, you won't be hearing that. People not putting up with things like that about their kids. And then it's an agenda when they're trying to say you're wrong. This is why I cannot be a part of that Democrat Party, because this is the things that they push. Instead of pushing education, instead of pushing for our children to learn more, while you have kids in Japan and kids in China, they learning all day long. They being quick, learning certain things. They're trying to worry about things that's not even having to do with education. And this is why they're dumbing down the children in America, and this is why we have dumbed down adults, because the education is more dumbed down. It's worrying about agendas, worrying about politics, worrying about, even you talk about the freaking trying to erase their history, calling it critical race theory, trying to erase the history of what they done to black people. They're trying to remove that out, right? They come up with so-called laws and say you could never really stop it, because as long as you got people like me and the internet around, we're always going to talk about the history. But you got to be careful, ladies and gentlemen, with, this mainstream media. I want to really go there. You got to be careful. Anything they say to you, you need to triple and quadruple check it, because they will lie on top of lie on top of lie to you. And they want to call themselves trusted sources. How you a trusted source if you kept saying it's called a don't say gay bill? Why you kept saying that if you so-called you lied? It says nothing about don't say gay in the bill. They ginning up all this animosity with people and don't even read the text of the bill, because most parents have no problem with having their parental rights, when it comes to education. Parents should be very, very involved in their education of their children. But they're homing in on one part of it. Now, you say this is an anti-black couples agenda as well. Sure, it's all of that. Yeah, see, the best thing you can do, ladies and gentlemen, is stop watching the mainstream media. And understand, if you do watch them, you better take what they say as a grain of salt and triple check it. Don't take it as face value, because there's an agenda behind it. Whether it's left wing or right wing, it's an agenda behind it, and they lying about something somewhere or giving a half truth. Look at Fox News. They Tucker Carlson had got sued. What did Fox say? Oh, well, Tucker Carlson, you can't take everything he say, seriously as like news. You know what I'm saying? They say that in open court about Tucker Carlson, but every day he's on there talking. That's why I say, when them people say you got to take with a grain of salt, you need to go look into it. See, us over here in the grassroots black media, we trying to give you the truth. We will take the time to read bills to you and show you how the mainstream media lie. We will talk about the agendas against our community and against our children. It's our job to do so you can be equipped to, know how to deal with that as a community. See, look, let's say, bro, I thought it was a strict law for anti-homosexual. You see? And where did that thought come from? That thought came from media propaganda. It didn't come from the bill. It came from media propaganda. They're lying to you. And, people was talking to me about, Phil, you also need to go through these voter ID bills too, They say because of what they saying about, oh, it's next to Jim Crow. You need to, oh my God, look at those bits. You know what? I say, I may have to do that on the next one. I may need, because they told me go through the Georgia voter ID bill and let's see if it's similar to Jim Crow, because I know it's Jim Crow. In Jim Crow, black folks are attacked from voting. Black folks had to pay a poll tax. Black folks had to pay a literacy, take a literacy test, okay? And black folks couldn't vote in a primary either. And that literacy test was questions about like the Constitution, something like that. You know, when black folks' literacy rate wasn't even high at the time, they didn't read the Constitution. That's one way. Or they have a thing like a marbles and say, well, how many marbles is in this jar? If you know that, then you can vote. If that's in the bill, I'll call it Jim Crow. If there's a poll tax for black people, I'll call it Jim Crow. So that's what we have to start doing, folks, is going through these particular bills that they saying, it is, you know, when they throwing this language out here, it's Jim Crow. It's, oh my God, look what happened. Don't say gate. Go through the bills. Go through them. Because they're lying. And if they're telling the truth, say, yeah, they were telling the truth and screaming from the rooftops, especially when it's involving us as a community. What person is, hold on, one person says, let me ask you if okay, I'm not even about to go there. Yeah, the mainstream media can't be trusted. They cannot be trusted. It cannot be trusted. It cannot be trusted. Because everything they do is propaganda. And you have to understand, they are, you know, the media wing of white supremacy. So they have their agendas going on, multiple agendas going on. It's multiple. So whether it's a left-wing agenda, right-wing agenda, at the end of the day, it's still racism, white supremacy. So we have to, as a community, turn ourselves off from the mainstream, especially the mainstream. Now, your local media, you know, I would say I would get a better response from local media, I would say, to a point. But we know, like they proved before, the local media can also get some talking points too, and they all saying the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? So you also got to use a grain of salt with that too. But my thing is, when it comes to the CNN, the MSDNC, when it comes to Fox News, when it comes to OAN, when it comes to all those ones like that, then it's propaganda all day long. But as a parent, you need, this is a time period to protect your children at all costs. Protect your children. And how I look at this personally is that the best route would be private school ran by the people in our community, or homeschool if you're going to live in the United States of America, or go to a state where they got laws in place to prevent these things from happening. I don't want my children discussing any kind of orientation or anything. My child needs to be a child. My child needs to worry about what girls do. My child needs to do her dance, you know, like the dance team. She needs to do things like that. That's what she needs to do. I'll be so pissed off if I heard something like that would happen to my child in school. Lord, I would lose it. I would lose it. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you saying to my child? This is why I told y'all for years I could not put my child in public school, because how is it I'm making these news stories for the past 10 years talking about what happens to our children in schools, and then I go give my child right to them willingly? Then I'm going to complain about what they do? No. So this is why I told black parents, what you got to do is, if you are so used of basically homeschooling because of the virus, right? Pandemic. You socialized to do it. At one point in time, you was never socialized. Now you are. Some black parents have said that their children have learned a lot faster and they more engaged more ever since they have been pulled out of their public school. And the reason why I say their public school, even though, yes, my tax dollars and your tax dollars go to it, is because they run it and they control it. That's why. They purposely make sure 75% of the teachers are white female. They do it on purpose. They purposely make sure the people who run everything are white. They don't make sure everything's equal. Maybe if you go to a city with more black people like Atlanta, or, you know, you go to cities like Baltimore, Charlotte, North Carolina, different places like that, where you probably see more black people. But if you're in the average city, you're not going to have even here in Houston, yes, you have a little bit more black people here. Definitely, you know, running things. I mean, the mayor is, you know, black. You definitely got black people on the city council and all kinds of things like that. But still, it's still not completely ran by black people. Let's call it what it is. So we got to protect our children. You know, let me tell you something we should be teaching our child. We need to be teaching our child righteousness. We need to be teaching our child our history. We need to be teaching our children, you know, even about the Lord. Because I grew up learning about God. That's what we need to learn about. Need to be teaching the children how to, you know, learn how to work, how to cook, how to clean. You know, you can teach our kids, you know, teach them about credit, teach them about taxes. You know, teach them how to, you know, do things on a car. You know, teach them, you know, how to protect themselves physically, and with time protect themselves even with firearms. We need to teach our children everything that we can where they can be self-sufficient when we won't be here anymore. That's what we need to teach our children. Teaching our children the value of working smart, and also applying when you're working smart, and knowing how to work hard in working smart, where it's benefiting you instead of just working hard but not working smart. That's what we need to teach our children. You know, my wife told me that at 10 years old, she started washing dishes and started learning how to cook at 10. I said, okay. And at 10 years old, I want my little girl to start that too. At 10. I don't want her not to know how to cook for herself. I don't want her to know how to not clean a kitchen or not do anything. I don't want a bunch of entitled children laying around because I'm not going to be here. I said, you're not going to be here forever, right? So they need to learn something. That's what they need to learn. Things like that. Get our children out of entitlement and take them to places where people don't have a whole lot, and let them understand the life they live in is privileged. Make them children go serve the homeless. If you can travel places, let them go see how people living in other countries sometimes who's struggling, so they can understand, you know, that you are blessed. That's what we should be teaching our children. There's 1,000 things that we should be teaching our children that could benefit our children. And it's on. You say you was cooking at 5. You say you lived on the farm. Hey, shout out to you and your family, because they taught you how to grow food. That's another thing. We could be teaching our children to grow food too. We need to be it's so many things that we need to be teaching our children. But because we don't teach our children, because we have fell off of the mark as a community teaching our children, other people are coming in and teaching them what they want to teach them. That's where that comes from. We have forgot that statement, an idle mind is the devil's playground. The old black people always used to say that. Keep them children busy. Keep them children doing something. They don't need all that free time laying around, because you know what? When you keep them busy, when they become adults, they're going to be used to that. Being busy, maybe handle multiple jobs, multiple projects, whatever. You know, some of these kids today are so paralyzed that if the mom and dad not around to help out or do something, that they can't do nothing for themselves. And that comes back on us as parents. We let them sit down on watching TV all day, on tablets, on games all day. They don't know how to do crap. And when you give them the games and internet and everything else, other people going to be teaching them now. It's time for us as parents to step ourselves up for our children. Because nobody can be teaching your kids things that you don't want them being taught if you was teaching them. Okay, you say y'all grow food and y'all hunted y'all own animals. Sister, did you grow up in the South? I'm thinking you probably did. You grow up in the South? Because like I said, so you basically you one of them country sisters. Okay, all right. And nothing wrong. Listen, I tell you what, and I'm gonna give you brothers some secrets, okay? If you want to get married, you need to get you a good country girl, because they know how to cook. Like that sister, she know how to hunt, she know how to grow food. Because these little women today, they want to be on Instagram and OnlyFans ain't worth a drop of they ain't worth a drop of piss. A lot of them, they can't do nothing. You remember when they shut everything down, they're closing restaurants down. Remember that? Them females didn't know what to do with themselves. They couldn't get their hair done, couldn't get their nails done, couldn't get nothing. I bet the sister down here, Light here, I guarantee you she was good during the pandemic. She ain't had to worry about no restaurant. She wasn't online asking people how you cook rice, because you always going to the freaking restaurant for everything, or you go and get some frozen meals and put it in a microwave. I tell a brother this: don't you get married to no woman that can't cook and don't know how to do nothing. Because when you have a kid with that woman, you gonna see it even worse about that kid. She gonna be giving your kid the most unhealthy food and giving that kid whatever, because she don't know how to do nothing. No, I have to go there, because, and the same thing with dudes. Some of these dudes today don't know how to do nothing either. They're not being taught anything. These dudes don't know how to cut no grass. They don't know how to do anything. They don't know how to change a tire. We got dudes that know how to change a tire. Guys can't troubleshoot a car to save their life at all. Don't know how to do nothing unless their mama or some woman tell them what to do. No kind of leadership skills. That is a failure on men too. We got to have our boys to become men, but it comes from home training and teaching. Because they will sit up here and tell that little black boy it's okay to put on a dress. It's okay to start wearing a purse. And hell, in California, you put on a purse and a wig, hey, you can get $900 a month. Was it Palm Springs, California? That's what they teaching. That you put on a wig and a dress, you be incentivized with money. That's what they teach. What's $900? If you teach your boy the value of hard work, being a leader, he can make $900. Hell, he can make that in a day. He may not make it at first in a day, but he can get to the point he's making $900 a day. More than that in a day. I appreciate my grandfather and my father for teaching me the value of hard work. At 8 years old, the best money I ever made in my life was $20. Back in, let me see, hold on, it was 1980, it had to be 80, hold on, how old was I at 87? I think it was 86, 87. But my grandfather paid me $20, and let me give y'all the equivalent of $20 in today's terms, because I got an inflation calculator in front of me. Let's see, 1987, put $20. Hold on. Okay, so my grandfather told me if I want to go cut grass with him at 8 years old. He said I could make some money. I was like, money? He said, yeah. He said, you come help me cut grass at Mama Deer house, and you can make some money. I say, shoot. Yeah, I want some money. So I went cut grass. My grandfather gave me $20 at the end of cutting that grass. In today's standards, that would be equivalent to $49.95 in today's standards. So basically, my grandfather gave me equivalent to $50 for helping him cut grass. When I had got my first $20, I was hooked. I said, so I asked him one question. I say, Papa, let me ask you a question. If I work more, I can make more money? He said, yep. The more you work, the more you make. I say, all right. At 8 years old, that's all I needed to hear. But we got our 8-year-old boys today not cutting no grass, not doing nothing. Just laid up in the house on the internets. What if of course, at that time period, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell phone. We didn't have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Listen, all that's cool, but in a way that ruins society in a way. All that social media and the internet, it kind of ruins society. I think the research aspect of social media is great. I think the connection of people throughout the world, social media is great. But what social media has turned into is actually harmful. Because have you noticed more families don't even talk anymore? But yet we all on social media as a family, but we don't pick up the phone and call each other no more. We just text each other, do whatever. See, we need to be teaching family, getting back together with family. That's what we need to be teaching. But if you're not teaching family, other people coming in to teach you something else that's anti-family. Understand? On top of lying about what's in a bill. You know, like the other day, it was my wife's, we did like a birthday dinner. So, you know, for the first time, I did something, you know, she said, well, it's just to surprise me. So I went, got some cupcakes from, Crave Cupcakes in, in Houston. And I end up, getting a room and kind of balloons, doing all kind of things. I never did that before. I said, listen, I'm not that type of person. My wife is the creative person. She do all that stuff. I can't. I said, next time, I'm going to hire somebody. So matter of fact, if you are a sister out there that is a party planner and you are in the Houston area, message me, come to my Instagram somewhere and say, hey, let me show you my Instagram. Let me show you what I can do. Please do that, because I need somebody like that in my life that I can lean on. You can do children, adults, you can do whatever, multiple themes. You could do it. Holler at me if you're in the Houston area. But, everybody was together. I love that. It was me and, of course, my family. Then we had my dad and other family members. And everybody was just, there. It was cool. I love when we get together as a family. I remember, black people used to get together every week like that. Not just on birthdays, but every week, every Sunday. A lot of y'all in the chat probably know that every Sunday, a lot of us would get together as a family, and we got away from that. We got so far away from that. It's like when the older people died, it's like everybody scattered. And maybe a few talk to each other here and there, but it's not like what it was when the old people was around and kept everything together. See, when the old people was there, they made sure, no, you gonna show up. I don't want to hear that. You coming over here and getting some of this food, and you gonna spend some time with your family. But we so busy today. That's why when I've seen different people, even in the continent of Africa, I told them, man, cherish that family structure y'all have. I say, because we once really had that in America, and it's not like it used to be. Now, you got some families that still like that. Don't get me wrong. Not every black family has gotten to that point, but a lot of them have. So what I said that, listen, with my personal family, I want to make sure that happens. And even the family members that really want it's on what I'm on, we all together. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if my mom's side, my dad's side, we're together. And that's how I want to keep it. You got to have family in your life. Even some of my family that could be locked up, don't forget about them either. Put some money on their books sometime, so they won't be down there looking for something. Do that. Don't forget about them. Sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes they get lied on. That happens too. Just don't forget about your brothers and your sisters down there in your family that could be locked up. You know, $200 go a long way down there when you're locked up on commissary. You said Africa, Asia, Finland, Denmark, etc. have better education system than America does. Yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. That's why I really would like my child, if she goes back to school, like to a school, I want her to go to school in Africa somewhere, because they're serious about the school and they have a lot of opportunities. You know what I'm saying? No. In America, they don't teach our children. But they worry about teaching our children, you know, what's it called? Reading with a drag queen. That's what they're doing with our children. That. But let me make sure to say this with balance. That is the white LGBT that's pushing that. That's not the black LGBT. I gotta say that with the truth. Black LGBT isn't pushing any kind of agendas. They're not doing that. Black LGBT is discriminated against heavily by the white LGBT and also the rank and file white supremacists as well. I will never say my black LGBT brothers and sisters are out here pushing agendas or doing anything like that. They're not. You know, I mean, like I told you, they my brothers, they my sisters. You know what I'm saying? I rock with them. I have no issue with them like that. Man, we could fight side by side against the white supremacists. Period. I don't care if you're a stud, a queen. I don't care. Hey, we roll up our sleeves together and get to fighting. That's how it is. You backing up family there. Even if I may not agree with lifestyle choices, don't matter. It's still my brothers and sisters. And if they not harming nobody, and what they do is within their personal life as an adult, I'm not going to say nothing about it. I'm going to respect it. And most black people respect it anyway. Man, listen, we've always had LGBT in our neighborhoods. We've always had that. Nobody did anything to them. Nobody harmed them. It's when it's the white supremacists within their own community harm people that's LGBT, like Matthew Shepard and many people like that. It's them. What they did to Matthew Shepard was horrible, but it was his own people did that. It wasn't black folk. But they always, when we speak up about something, you know, talking about, hey, wait a minute, keep that, you want to push that agenda on your children, you do that. Leave ours alone. Then they want to call you, saying you're homophobic and like, what? Nobody fear y'all. Nobody fear y'all. That term is also a propagandized term. Phobia is a fear. Nobody fear you. We're just saying that children need to be children. That's it. We ain't got no problem with LGBT. We don't. Well, we will talk about agendas being pushed on our boys too. We're going to talk about that. How a black man is celebrated in America if he puts on a dress, but he's not celebrated when he puts on a suit and tie. Sure, we're going to talk about that. It's okay for black women to say they want black men to be men. It's nothing wrong with that. Or this wickedness they putting on black women, where black women don't want to fool with a guy who's a B, who's bisexual. I always say, well, you just a gay man and still like women. That's how I look at it. But if a black woman say, I don't want a guy like that, I want a guy that's, like the opposite sex, that's heterosexual like me. And they have also tried to say things negative about black women. No, that's completely wrong. Same thing when they try to say to black men. Oh, well, you homophobic, you don't want to fool with somebody trans. No, you're not. Why are you trying to force black people to do something they choosing not to do with their body? Remember, my body, my choice? You notice my body, my choice goes out the window real quick when it comes to black people. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, stand on your square. Stand on your square. Stand in your beliefs. Stand in your morals. And it don't matter what the white supremacists say about you. It's about what the Lord say about you. Because the white supremacist is not going to save you. He can't save. You can't save himself. He doing everything possible to try to hurt and harm you. That's why he's pushing all this agenda. That's why he's pushing the situation with Zaddy too. That's why look at Ketanji. Oh my God. Oh, look at her. Look at her strong white mans. You know what I'm saying? It's all propaganda. It's all propaganda, and there's always something to try to stifle our numbers, but it just don't work. Trust me. It's like we don't like to say. You remember that saying from that thing, Bebe's Kids? Remember, if y'all know about Bebe's Kids, it said we don't die, we multiply. Well, that's us as black people. We don't die, we multiply. That's us, ladies and gentlemen. That is us. What we looking like on the screen here? What is my time? Give me a second. We're at 51. Let me see if this works. Something I'm trying to do here. Just give me a second. If some of y'all want to possibly chime in on this particular topic, let me know. And what we'll do here is give me a second. Okay, direct connect. Give me a second here. Try to see if I can get this up. We're gonna try this one more again. The last time we was trying to get some calls up, but we had an issue. So let's see if they try to
start your show now. Press 1 to hear important instructions. Press 2.
Let's see here. What is this? Give me a second. See if I can connect this thing. Direct connect. I'm trying to connect this thing. Let's see what they tell me. But anyway, thank y'all for coming in. We greatly appreciate it. We greatly appreciate
Start
that.
your show now. Press 1 to hear important instructions.
Okay, what in the hell? Hold on. What you say? Wherever floats your boat. What you say? If you seriously believe we still 12% of the population,
start your show now.
if
Press
you
1
really believe
to
that,
hear important instructions. Press 2.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
All right, so let's say you're late to start the episode. Let's say click here. All right, so let me put up the phone number on the screen in case any of you would like to come in. Let me get my other screen back up. Have a phone number. I want to know what you think about the topic in itself. Let me see, where is the phone number at? There we go. Boom. So that's the phone number if you would like to call in. Let me get this other thing on my screen here. Give me 2 seconds. Where we at? No, I don't want that there. All right. Yeah, so that's the number if you'd like to call in, ladies and gentlemen. If not, then we'll just go ahead on and end the show. 515-605-9768. Want to find out what you think about it. Let me see, go down and check the comments just real quick. You see, Muhammad Ali came out in the 1960s and debunked the 12% myth. Yeah, because, come on, man. But black folks be having kids, man. They be having kids in relationships. They have kids, don't even talk about some of these sisters out here in the communities. Pookie and Ray Ray, they be making kids too. Like what's that one dude? They got what? All those kids? One dude. Where 12% come from? Look, no way you can maintain the same number. You can't maintain 12% since the 1970s. How? That would mean they would have to know exactly how many people they gotta die. They can't track all that. They lie on the census. They just recently said that all black people wasn't counted. In my opinion, I believe black people could be, I think 50 to 55 million in the population. Could be 60. Could be. But they don't really want to count that. Okay, so let me see here. Let me see how this works. So I'm trying this out. All right, 347, you're on the line. Area code 347. Do you hear me? I can't hear 347. For some reason I can't hear him. Well, let's try another person.
Hello?
Area code 845, you're on the show. $845. You just said hello. Okay, this person not responding either. All right, if you want to talk, get on. Area code 703. You're on the line.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the line. Yo, 703, you hear me?
Hello?
Area code 845. Okay, you gotta mute your thing, man. 845. Just say hello. Okay, I don't know what's going on with people today on this thing. I don't know what's going on. I don't think they can hear me. I don't know what's the deal. People dropping off, but they say hello, but they don't say anything else. I'll give another minute or two, but anyway, let's go back down here. He said, can you post a Cash App link? That's actually in the pinned comment of the stream. It's in the pinned comment of the stream. Okay, let's try this person here. Let's see here. Hold on. What are we looking at? Area code 345. You're on the line. Three, 4, 5. Okay, I don't know. We got a bunch of people that just holding the line. They want to breathe. I mean, I don't understand that. People just want to breathe tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They just want to breathe. So anyway, I'm not gonna sit up here and waste your time with that. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the show tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe. That way, you know exactly when we're gonna post another live stream. We're trying to coordinate our live streams on this channel. I'm trying my best to try to get more streams on this channel. I'm trying my best, so y'all just hold off with me. I want to get it to at least so we can do 3 or 4 of these a week, and just have these good conversations. So once again,